Do you run that one that goes around, the yellow one? Hey, my kids just ride that over. Yeah. I got on it one year, not this year, I got it last year, and I swear the guy, I think he let it run longer while I was on it, because I was yelling, stop! That's where they ate over at the, so they had their coupons for the coaches. Okay. And they ate at Beaver Trail. So that's the city and the city. I mean, we gotta figure out, we gotta get the concessions.
That's gotta get,
Yeah,
they
I
gotta
mean,
split it with us.
we really do. We gotta, or they gotta compliment that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Comment or something.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna sit down with the mayor, just kind of, here's where we're at. So what we're gonna do, we gotta figure out, do we take them to concessions? Like, we just think this. Probably can make a lot more money. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Right, yeah. Oh, she's excited. I was sweating. I was like, dear God, here I go. I mean, I couldn't even get excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even, like...
You're thinking all the negative side.
Yeah, oh, I mean, I'm serious. I was like, oh, my gosh. And I hate that for her. What? Are you kidding me? Oh, my Lord. That's a bat. That is a bat. Hold on, I gotta get a picture of this.
You didn't know I was a millennial.
Not that I'm screwed up, but they carry rabies.
Oh, it's a
Where's
bat.
Mercy Management?
Yeah. Y'all, there's a bat. We need you.
Marcus!
Yeah, where are you at?
We got a job for you, Marcus.
There it is. Hold on, I gotta get a picture of this for Sawyer.
Is it Dave?
There is. There's a bat. Now you gotta check underneath your chairs now, guys. Ooh. You're good. I love it. Small town.
Oh, man. No way.
Good job, Marcus.
Yeah. Are you surprised the media's not here?
Hey, I picked it up. Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job.
But yeah, why aren't they here?
All right.
Were they on that email?
It's been a rough week.
They're all on that email.
I don't.
Okay, we don't have any people here today, but we can go and get started. Okay, we'll do, everybody's kind of coming in, okay? Okay, we'll call this fiscal court meeting to order. Barren County Fiscal Court Special Call Meeting, June 29th, 2023 at 10 a.m. Please call roll.
Jeff Bott,
Here.
Derek Pettigo,
Here.
Tim Durham,
Here.
Tim Coomer,
Here.
Marty Kinslow,
Here.
Ronnie Stinson,
Here.
Brad Gross,
Here.
Judge Byrd.
Here. Okay, well, we don't have a lot of people here today, but I just want to say a huge thank you to the fire departments, to our road department doing above and beyond. Have you slept any, Jamie? Not much. Okay, well, you need to get some rest. We need you to rest. And to all of our magistrates and everybody that's been out getting people out of their homes, able to, and all of our linemen, they're able to get the electricity. I was told that everyone should have their electricity back on by tomorrow. And that's still, you know, I know people have been without electricity for a full week, but it has been a community effort to get everybody back up. And I want to say thank you to everybody for what they've done. So, the other thing too I need to say is announcement-wise is the county fair still is going on tonight. Hopefully it doesn't rain, but I've got a feeling it's about to. And through Saturday night. So if anybody wants to come, hang out, county fair. So, next up, I need to approve the payment of claims. I need a motion and a second to approve the payment of claims.
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Stinson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the bank account transfer. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Durham.
Second that.
Second by Mr. Botts. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I would also say, like Tammy and Mandy both, we have the checks are printed and everything will be sent out today. So I'm very excited about that, and big thank you to them as well. Approve the amended county attorney amended monthly settlement reports, January, March, April, May, June, September, October, and November of 2022 that had not been done. We need to approve those. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Coomer,
Second.
second by Mr. Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to do the second reading and adoption of the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget ordinance number 679. So this is the second reading of the budget. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Kinslow,
I'll second.
second by, Mr. Durham. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call vote since it's the budget.
Jeff Botts,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Thank you all so much for everyone that participated in getting the budget ready to go for the next fiscal year. We got it in time. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Okay. Now we need to do approve the purchase order of payment to ISCO Industries for the Ramp Road invoice number 03025872 for $32,101.44 and invoice number 03025903 for $8,173.44. I need a motion and a second.
Make that motion, Judge.
Okay, motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Pettigo. And just to explain this, the Ramp Road project was finished and under budget, and we're very thankful to get that done. Great job. So we'll do a roll call, or not roll call vote, we'll do all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next up. Okay, approve the purchase order and payment to Temple and Temple. This is also for the Ramp Road project. Invoice number 13898 for $18,947. Motion. Need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Stinson. Also to explain on this project, every bit of this was fully paid for by the state, by our, the grant, or the emergency grant that we got. So there was no match on it. We didn't have to do that. So that was another plus to this. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next up, approve the model procurement code per KRS 445A.385. Need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Durham. Discussion on this. This is just basically, we're adopting the model procurement this is what all the counties are doing, and it increases if the contract does not exceed $40,000. That's basically the biggest difference this year from $30,000 to $40,000 in the difference. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the Tourism and Convention Center Commission appointment as presented. You know, I put a lot of thought into this, as to what we do with this, and I'm not, I've been so back and forth on it, I'm not going to lie, because I want to give people opportunities, but also I know some people that have put a lot of hard work into it, and I don't want to take away from that as well. So I will leave the appointment as is, and I will reappoint Mr. Smith to the Tourist and Convention Commission for the next 3 years, unless something, keeps him from being able to fulfill that, we can reappoint someone also. But right now, we're going to reappoint Mr. Smith into that position. So I make the motion to, hold on, make sure. Okay, so we're going to make the motion to reappoint Robert Smith to the Tourist and Convention Commission for the 2023 to 2026 term, unless something unforeseen happens. So, I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Pettigo, a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Coomer, or was that Durham? Durham, you got him. Okay, Mr. Durham got him. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up, approve the first reading of ordinance number 681 concerning the adoption of Annette Lane, Christopher Avenue, and Jessica Avenue in the county road system. I need a motion and a second before we can discuss.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gross,
Second.
second by Mr. Kinslow. Discussion on this. I will say Mr. Might is here today if we have any questions, but I know that he has done his due diligence on this project and that everything has been met, and that this is a project that I feel comfortable in approving. So, any more discussion? Good. Okay. We'll do a roll call vote.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next up, we're on the approve the resolution of number 2023-6-29 of the interlocal agreement. This is the joint resolution of the City of Glasgow and Barren County, Kentucky, amended an interlocal agreement to include additional services provided by the building inspector. Do I need a motion and a second?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Kinslow,
Second.
second by Mr. Coomer. This is just basically updating our agreement for how we kind of do a partnership between the City of Glasgow to do the home inspections and also the increased opportunities that we're going to be able to allow through that too. So, okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. They will be thrilled to get that back, so thank you. Next up, committee reports. We have the solid waste committee report.
Okay, the Solid Waste Committee, we had to meet because the meeting changed for the fourth Monday. So in that meeting, we voted to change the meeting date to the third, or the Monday before the fiscal court meeting. Do I need a motion on that, or is that, don't?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we will be meeting the Monday before the fiscal court meeting at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Second thing was discussed was the purchase of a Tahoe for emergency management. Garland submitted a invoice, or not an invoice, but a quote for a Tahoe. And right now, we're using one borrowed from the sheriff's department. And I think if I'm right, the emergency management has not had a vehicle of their own for like 10 years. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we purchase this vehicle. I think everybody should have that in their bid pack. It is through Bachman. And I know some of you have concerns, it's not local, and that's all right, I understand it. But also understand that I think the sheriff is needing his vehicle back. And I ordered a truck through locally, and it took me 1 year and 2 months to get it. So, that's my thoughts on that.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. We need a second before we can discuss.
I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kramer. Okay, discussion. I will say myself, I did reach out to a local to get a comparison on the vehicles, to get costs, to see if they could provide vehicles of the same, all the specs, and they had said that the type they had at the moment they could not get until September, and the cost was a little bit more. But I do want to support our local businesses. I think the type of vehicles, I think with the sheriff's office as well as this, this is all kind of similar, is they're dealing with so many multiple government entities that's the reason why I'm sure their cost is so low. I mean, it's a very good deal for what I think you're getting.
I want to note
Go
my
ahead.
concern with it, you probably heard I did have a concern.
Yes.
It is a police interceptor, and I would like, in my opinion, I would have rather seen Sheriff Keene get that opportunity for another police interceptor and be able to use it daily instead of, maybe use it I mean, I know we're gonna use it daily, but for the reason for a police interceptor, that's a whole different type of vehicle than just going out here and buying a Tahoe off the lot. And, that was my only concern. I want Garland to have a good vehicle. He deserves a good vehicle, does a great job. The whole team does a great job. Not against getting a new vehicle whatsoever, but that was my concern on this issue. And, but, you know,
Well,
I just wanted to make that note.
Yeah, well, and for something too to note, if there is an instance where, like we've been in, you've had a vehicle that's been out of commission in the sheriff's office, that we would have an opportunity to provide. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if the need was there. You know what I'm saying? So if that did come up, that is definitely an option, so just
Well,
throwing that out there.
let me say this. Garland really doesn't need the police interceptor thing. I get that. But also, in that package, it's actually the same package as a rescue package. And that rescue package is a different set of braking systems and a different set of suspension systems. So they sort of go hand in hand. So like the rescue truck, when I order it, that rescue upgrade is about $2,600, I think. So there is some extra things in that, but it's still more or less that same package with a few other things for the police interceptor package. So it's not exactly just for police officers on that part.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? We'll do a roll call vote. Thank you.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo,
No.
Motion carries. Next one, do you have another one we need to vote on? Yes.
The next one, and I'm going to ask Garland to explain this a little better than what I can, but we have these volunteers for emergency management. We just don't have the funds to pay enough emergency management people, and most of the time, we don't have the work to do them to justify them. So we need some volunteers, but they're spending a lot of money on their own, and we need some type of reimbursement to help them out a little, because we need them. And especially, it looks like these storms is gonna be more of the norm now, at least probably for a few-year cycle, I think. So we're gonna need these people. So, Carly, you don't care if you explain it better job now.
Yeah. So I'll start off saying this is a budgeted item in my budget. I have a line item for it.
Wait, real quick. We need a motion and a second before we can do the discussion.
Sorry.
So you're making the motion, Ronnie. Do I have a second before we can discuss?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gross. Proceed.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So this is a per diem policy to pay volunteers and a mileage reimbursement. So using the March storms, for example, I had volunteers out on Saturday and Sunday driving up and down the roads, taking picture of damages and doing damage assessments for me. With that, they were out every bit $1 for gas and lunch and everything else. So this is a policy to put in place to where we can pay them a per diem, but it also has the stipulations of what they can and can't turn in, and then ultimately that the director has to approve anything before a check is written. I talked with Mike Richardson about this, whether it should be a departmental policy or an employee personnel policy. We were kind of in the agreement there. They are not employees, they're volunteers, and we're reimbursing, so it could be departmental policy. So I included that in your packet. If you have specific questions, I'll entertain those. But basically, it's just to pay them something where they're not out all the money for running up and down the roads in personal vehicles. There is a clause in there that if we have an extra county vehicle that I'll put them in, they don't get reimbursement for mileage. You know, it has to be their own personal vehicle, which 99% of the time it is.
Just a question, who determines these volunteers? Do you say you're appointed as a volunteer?
So you all actually have to, their appointments by the court. So right now I have Justin Ritchie, you all have appointed as deputy director, and Anita May as deputy director. Right. Judge Bird and I have discussed adding a third one potentially, but that'll be another item for another day, since this is a special call meeting.
So you're like a three
but
people.
These are people that you all
they're
have
already-
already approved
yes.
as deputy directors.
Yeah.
They actually have business cards, deputy directors. But again, they're volunteers.
So this is not just gonna be random people that.
Right.
No, and it's classified in there just like,
They have to have their training.
Just like there's a clause in here, Marcus and myself receive a salary. We're not eligible for per diem because we receive a salary. It also has a clause, if my vehicle's in the shop and I drive a personal, I could turn in mileage. So, but all that's in this policy, I tried to make it as less Swiss cheese as I could.
But it was really amazing to me that these people volunteer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I even met people I saw Anita at the fair last night. I met some of the is it CERT? I'll take to make sure I say it right. I met some of the CERT.
Community Emergency Response.
CERT team. I mean, and it's just amazing. These people are out there volunteering their time, putting forth effort to help out with everything, not just emergencies. I mean, they were parking cars. They were doing they were such great guys, the CERT team guys. They stopped me and they introduced themselves to me. They were great, so.
Let's just not forget, when we're talking about somebody that's volunteering, let's not forget about our men and women on the volunteer fire departments that have spent their gas and their money for several years to protect Barren County.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I do think the monies that are given to the fire departments, and will continue, I'm all for the fire departments, and I do think they should be reimbursed for those things.
And I will point out the very bottom line of this policy is reimbursements are subject to the availability of budgeted funds. I do have this in the budget, but we won't blow the budget with it either, so it has a clause in there.
Yeah. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, go, what?
How are they gonna regulate or justify how many miles they put on a vehicle? I mean, is it gotta be a disaster?
It's gonna be
or-
yeah.
So we actually have, we're unique in some of the incidents we respond to are just phone calls, but 99% of the time it's through dispatch. So we are put on the CAD just like the fire department. So if there is an incident, let's say I need them, because they may be responding to something, an actual incident, not necessarily a disaster. So let's say I've got a semi-hazmat incident on I-65 right now, and Marcus and I are here, I may send a volunteer. Well, that's all on the CAD through 911 dispatch, so I would pull up their home address, where the incident was, and do a Google Maps of the miles. The biggest thing is on a disaster, when they're driving the roads, it's gonna be, and I've got a form, and it actually says on here, they have to use the mileage reimbursement form that I have, but it has a starting, ending mileage to the 10th, and it calculates off of that. So it's still a little bit of trust system, but they're gonna have to write their initial start mileage and their end mileage. And if it comes up to be 13,000 miles, we'll know that's not correct. But when they're running up and down these county roads on a disaster, I would expect 100 miles at least that day.
So use the federal rate.
So what I did when I created this was I used, at the time, 63 cents was federal when I started putting this together. I think the federal has increased to 65 now.
65.5.
65, but what I did was I put a straight 63, and if we feel that it needs to be amended, we can amend the policy and raise it. But I didn't want to go off of the straight federal because I didn't budget for it to fluctuate, if that makes sense. So if next year we want to increase it to 65 or 70, I'd be fine with amending the policy, but it's a set number.
Yeah, I don't think we need to increase the mileage just because we are so a little bit higher than even the state right now. Yeah,
What,
yeah,
what, 26?
yeah. Any more discussion? Okay, thank you. We'll do a roll call vote.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Fred Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Everybody vote? Okay. Thank you all. Motion carries. Okay, is that it on the solid waste?
That's all I have today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We need to approve the order allowing compensation to the Board of Assessment Appeals. I need a motion and a second to allow this is the board basically that we are doing for the assessment board, allowing compensation to the assessment board. They meet one time. They will be meeting the one time. The compensation total is, so our side is it just 200, is that right? So it's $500 total.
It's total, and then we'll get,
The state pays $250 of it, and we
Yeah.
pay the other $250. Okay, so the total compensation basically is $500 for the Board of Assessment Appeals, and the state pays $250 of that, and then we would be responsible for the other $250. I need a motion and a second.
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Coomer,
Second.
second by Mr. Botts. Any more discussion?
Is that per person or?
No, that's total. So our
Total,
share of it
okay.
is $250. That's what we're approving right now to pay is $250 total.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the opening of bank account for High School Cemetery Fund at Sicilian Bank High School Branch. I need a motion and a second before we can discuss.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Kramer. Who was the second? Was that Pettigo? Second by Mr. Pettigo. Discussion. Mr. Kramer?
I'd just like to, first of all, thank everybody that's, our county attorney and judge and everybody. This is something we've been trying to do for several years. This money's been tied up in a trust that has actually lost money for the cemetery for the past 20 years. It's been a lot of effort on everyone, and we're very happy at the cemetery. We're going to be able to take this money and with CD rates and stuff now, actually maybe make a little money after 20 years. And just want to thank everybody. And this is what we'll do. There's several people that controls this, so it's very safe and just.
I've talked to some of the individuals that are aware of the situation. They're very thankful. And we're very thankful to Mr. Richardson for what he did on that and how fast he acted on it. And he got that done within, it was very quick. So, thank you. Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to authorize Judge the Executive for myself to sign the Kentucky Department of Workers' Claim Drug-Free Workplace Renewal Affidavit for Barren County to remain a drug-free workplace. Need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Durham,
Second.
second by Mr. Kramer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, need to approve the appointment to the Barren River Council on Aging and Independent Living 2-year term. The person we are nominating today, is it on here? It's Casey. Yes. We're nominating Casey Scott, basically to reappoint her to the Aging Council as a representative for Barren County. Do we have a motion and a second?
Motion?
Motion by Mr. Botts,
Second.
second by Mr. Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Approve the second reading of ordinance number 682, approving home inspection fees effective 7/1/2023. We voted on this also already in March. That was our first reading in March of 2023. But to make it effective, this is our second reading, and basically it's just a fee increase that you all voted on. It's no different from what you voted on in March. It's just a second reading. So I need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Kinslow,
Second.
second by Mr. Pettigo. Any discussion? These will go into effect on July 1. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Oh, okay. So I guess we need to, before everything at the end, thank you all for coming today, and hope everybody has a good 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, and let's celebrate with our family and friends. And so I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Gross,
Second.
second by Coomery. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.